Huh.
GM.
Good morning.
What's going on?
No. What's going on with you?
Nothing, man. Nothing. Back at it. Ready to go. What a day yesterday was. We got some stuff to talk about.
Few things. A few things. Yeah, what a day. What a day it was yesterday.
GM Degens.
What up, everybody? Cambo, fresh off his Moon Lounge ascension. Beamed him up yesterday. What you think?
Oh, that was 2 days ago. We welcomed him yesterday. Time flies, man.
Welcomed him, yes. He is now a regular fixture.
GM, you beautiful Degens. Cutter, Decoy, Faded Native, Sandman, Lost Glitches in the House, Chipper. Mike Track says, shake day ass. Couldn't agree more. James. Shubang, GM, weather report, Maxis. I don't know about that. Cambo, what's going on?
I was on a Spaces.
Yes, you were.
Not that Spaces. I guess we get that. I was on a Spaces 3 days ago. And one of the hosts, shout out to Driz, who's very cheeky, asked me to play F, Marry, Kill. And he asked me to play F, Marry, Kill with Star Catchers, Weather Report, and Wonder Pals. Now,
are you changing your answer?
As an upstanding member of the community, this was a tough question to ask because I love Wonder Pals, I love Star Catchers, but they asked me this question. So I said that I would F Wonder Pals, I would marry Star Catchers, and I would kill Weather Report. And this is recorded on one of the Spaces. And I don't know why I said that, but I'm feeling better about my decision.
Well, I mean, at the time, it was probably a tough choice. Until about noon yesterday, maybe a little bit later.
Yeah.
Some stuff started to come out.
Yeah.
I made a meme for you. Did you see the meme that I posted?
You made a meme for me? For me? No.
The boomer FMC when he falls asleep on Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, those Spaces, man, they're addicting. They keep you engaged. It's amazing the connection and the access to the community, the ideas that are had, the breakthroughs that are made, the fun that is Twitter Spaces. Great stuff.
Yes, sir. I just wish that they would actually fix Twitter Spaces. I have my own issues with it, as I know you do. They're completely separate issues. Not unique to ourselves, but different.
Yeah.
And it makes it very difficult.
Like the Twitter Spaces are very, very notorious for rugging, not just the hosts, the people listening, the connections. I am anticipating that when Twitter does one of their big upgrade moments, I know the company does like 2 or 3 events a year where they upgrade everything. I do think Spaces is going to be at the forefront of what they do. I think they understand how important it is. They've essentially killed Clubhouse. They
flipped a switch and crushed them.
Look, I mean, but this is right. You remember one of the most popular apps on the iPhone was the flashlight app. There was a guy who turned your flash into a flashlight. And it was like this, he sold advertising.
That's right.
Yeah, he sold advertising on it. This guy was living on flashlight money until Apple went, great feature. Click.
Yep.
I always told people the App Store, which is framed as this great gift to developers, and that was where Apple farmed all their ideas.
Well, and it's very difficult to build a business sitting on top of a platform that can just turn it on as a feature, like you mentioned with Twitter Spaces and the flashlight.
Yeah.
It's one of the big things that Amazon is notorious for, right? People set up shop on there. They, there's fulfilled by Amazon businesses, and this is great. You promote your product, you get it to the top of the listing. It looks all good, and then Amazon goes, "Wow, you guys are doing really well with that." And then they private label their own thing bring it in, and they put you to the bottom of the list. They put all their products up in the top, and you're gone.
Yep.
They literally use their own marketplace to source what the best products are, and then they just take it over. They do it time and time again. Stuff.
I know it's what it was the exact same model, and that's this is what these companies are doing. But hey, I mean, as long as you understand it, I think it's a beneficial relationship for both. The problem is if you think that they've given you something permanent. Maybe I know a lot of developers were they don't like the policies that Apple has for their apps.
Well, actually, I was just listening to a really interesting discussion on Chamath on the All In podcast was saying that he was long Google and Microsoft, and short Apple, Facebook, and a couple other things. And that, I mean, I think that's looking pretty good for him right now. But he was basically just saying the incentive and the impetus for Microsoft to move into a free and open app space is going to be imminent, and it's going to really, really take a chunk out of Apple's aggressive fees structure system that they have. I don't know whether or not you agree with that, but that was his thesis.
No, Apple is. Yeah.
All right.
Put it in.
Oh, are we doing it? Okay. Yeah. GM, D-Gens, what's going on? It is Thursday, February 17th. Welcome back to the AM show, episode 74. I am your host, R2DGen, and joined with me, as always, by the Twitter Spaces legend, FMC.
Good morning. Hey, now. Welcome.
Hey, now. You had a day yesterday. Well, we all did. This was quite a day in NFT space. I think that what we're going to see come out of it is going to be very important. I think what happened yesterday is a great example of the market learning in real time, figuring things out, figuring out what's important to us as we, kind of navigate our way through this Web3 society that we're all, I guess, part of creating. And yesterday with the report about Weather Report, maybe not being overly great, fair, or equitable to the artist that had come up with the concept and was supposed to be part of the team. Some fireworks started flying. The team of Weather Report was on Twitter Spaces for quite some time. They would not let the artist come up onto the Spaces to say his side of the story, which is a big red flag for me. And you and Maz managed to get the artist Dentin onto a Twitter Spaces that lasted for just over 3 hours. I think in total it was like 11,000 people, and different people ended up tuning in, not concurrently, but really, really incredible. And I gotta say, I'm so proud of you and Maz for the way that you controlled that room, the way that the discussion was productive, constructive. There was no hostility. It was just a record of of account, not even stated as fact, and that this was the right truth or anything like that, but just this was the other side of the story. And it's so important to listen to both, because I think even Dentin would agree that each side is going to have their own truths, their own opinions, and their own feelings of what happened. But I was so impressed with Dentin in the way that he spoke about that. So, I mean, big congratulations to you guys too.
Oh, thank you. It was a weird day because I had 2 shows in the morning, and I was just finishing up the morning squeeze, and I had not gotten any of the news. I didn't know what was happening at all. And all of a sudden I was tagged into Spaces with Maz to do a Weather Report interview with Dentin, and there was drama and controversy. I had no idea what was going on. I really, when I say I came into that Spaces, neutral, I didn't know what was being accused, and I had no preconceived notions. All I knew is that Toby Lasso, who is associated and is on the team of Weather Report, is an extremely respected and upstanding member of the NFT community, the Cool Cats community. So I wanted to reserve judgment. I was surprised. And so I hopped into their spaces, which again, it was titled Weather Report Truth. And there were no, there was the artist himself and nobody from his team was allowed in the spaces or on stage. He was blocked by all of the creators who were running the spaces and were co-hosts. And he was listening in actually on FaceTime. His friend was FaceTiming.
Streaming it, yeah.
So
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to just reserve like the nitty gritty details, and especially what's happened since the spaces for a little bit further on into the show, because I think it's going to be the bulk of our conversation today. And I want to just kind of get the news articles out of the way, but I know I have tons of feelings on it. You've got a lot of feelings on it now, especially since Weather Report put out that statement, and there's going to be a ton to unpack from this, and I'm sure going forward, because I think it's going to be a culmination of kind of events that led up to this as well.
Right.
Honestly, guys, I mean, you know, I don't often ask this of you, but if you guys are on Twitter or anything and you want to, you know, bring people into our show to listen to us talk about it a little bit later, always love if you guys like retweet Free Markets, you know, announcement that the show is going live and stuff like that. And I'm not demanding or you know, begging you to do that, but this is a really, really important discussion. And I think, you know, keeping that ball rolling is going to be really good for the NFT space. So let's talk about the crypto market right now. Nothing really changed too much. We saw about a 2 or 3% full pullback on Ethereum and Bitcoin, respectively. But we're holding some, you know, support levels here. $3,000 on ETH has not really been broken. $4,200 or $42,000 on Bitcoin is holding pretty strong right now. You know, there was some FUD or fear about the whole Ukraine and the United States and the Russia situation. You know, I don't know if that was causing some dip in the markets. Honestly, I look at 2 or 3%, and that's never ever shocking to me on a daily basis, regardless. So I have a hard time placing a lot of blame on that situation right now. I don't know how you're feeling about the market, though.
Well, yesterday it was reported that Ukraine had shot mortar shells into the rebel positions, which would be the pro-Russian positions flanking the country. This caused, at the time, the S&P futures were pretty much flat. This caused them to tank about 0.5%. It seemed to be a bit of panic, and crypto, which had largely detached from the macro since we bottomed, kind of fell right back in with it and started to pull back as well. If you remove the news from it, exactly what we expected to happen is happening. So there's always a scary reason. There's always justification, but we expected 3,200 to be resistance. I'm expecting consolidation now between 28 and 3,200. That's still what's happening. I think if we got close to 2,800 on ETH, there would magically be some good news that, you know, tensions were dying down and people were pulling back and all that stuff, because it magically happens that way. And I'm still bullish, and I think we're just consolidating sideways, which is the healthiest thing. So not much support, but
sometimes it does feel like you magically look for reasons of why something happened retroactively, other than the fact that this was just, you know, especially what you say in terms of the market. I mean, if you want to rewind 2 or 3 days ago, this is pretty much a prophecy foretold as to what would kind of happen over the next few days, next few weeks. And that's not to say that they can't break that trend or you can come up with a surprise. But like you said, when you take that news out of the equation, nothing really changed, right? And it's so easy to look for news in hindsight which would have caused something. And to your point, you know, if it bounced off 2,800, we would find some kind of good news as to why we're bullish on crypto again. But this is to me again looking like a really normal consolidation period, and it's kind of just sticking in this this flag that is forming over 30 days right now.
Well, and you know, the the news, as we said, is always ascribed to the action. And most of what's happening in the markets on a daily basis is due to supply-demand dynamics and market mechanics, which are things happening underneath the surface. It's the things fancy traders use indicators to watch, dark pools, trades you don't see, tick reports, but all these weird little metrics that you're not paying attention to. That's really what moves the market on a daily basis. And then the media is out there not watching these things, trying to ascribe reasons to it. So that's what you're seeing. Again, I'm still watching 28 on the downside, 32 on the upside. If we broke out of either of the resistance or support levels, we would start to reassess. I do think we're going to break higher. So if that happened, I wouldn't really be changing my plans. If we broke under 28, I would be monitoring and seeing if we have to adjust.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think there's anything that would cause that, or is just the natural kind of?
There is certainly macro risk. I don't participate in sensationalism and freaking out when these things are happening, but I don't discount that something could happen and something could roil markets in a way we weren't expecting. I just know that it happens so rarely that fading it over time is positive EV, and I'll be wrong once in a while. But like I say, if World War III breaks out, we're going to have much more to be worried about than our Ethereum price.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about real worst case scenarios, you're going to stop looking at the funds in your bank account and just run for cover, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, man, my dog has just decided that today he is going for it.
Shot, puppy, shoot your shot.
It's been raining a lot the last few days here, and he has not gone out for like a really, really good run like he normally does. But I'm gonna have to do that rain or shine this afternoon. Charlie Munger, crypto is like some venereal disease. The comments from Warren Buffett's right-hand man are going viral. During a Q&A session at the Daily Journal annual meeting in Los Angeles, Warren Buffett partner Charlie Munger continued his verbal attacks on crypto. He goes on to say, I have all kinds of things I'm not comfortable with. I think an old guy is entitled to invest wherever he wants to invest. That's certainly true. But he does go on to say, of course, I hate the Bitcoin success, nor do I like just shuffling out a few extra billions and billions and billions of dollars to somebody who just invented a new financial product out of thin air. I didn't actually watch the clip, but you did. So I want you to provide some more color, because I think there's a lot of context in the actual reaction rather than just reading the text on the screen. I just love the fact that he called it a venereal disease, and I don't think that that's a term that's been used actively for probably about 50 years. So
if you want to see a 98-year-old man get triggered like a UCLA college student watching Fox News, you should watch this CNBC interview, because really, he's not saying anything. He literally is not saying anything coherent. She catches him off guard, and it was a gotcha question. You have to understand. Berkshire Hathaway is a bellwether in markets in such a legendary way. They always come on CNBC. They always have a long list of questions for either Munger or Buffett, and they've been notoriously anti-crypto. Well, as we know, crypto is up 33 million% in the last 7 years. And this is something that CNBC knows they can get a reaction out of with them, because these guys, they're still investors. They still have egos, right? And she doesn't ask him, hey, what do you think about Bitcoin? She goes, now that Bitcoin's up 1,000,000%, you think you guys were fucking wrong? That was basically how she phrased the question. It triggered him, and he just completely lost his mind. Like, I almost don't blame him. Look, the guy is a traditionalist. This guy invests in traditional assets. They're looking for 10% a year. Crypto is not, this is not something they would ever even consider. They don't even invest in tech companies. If you know Berkshire Hathaway, investing in Apple and IBM was considered high risk, going out of their way. It was mind-blowing to markets. Crypto wouldn't even be they wouldn't even talk about it if CNBC wasn't poking them. So while this guy is, he literally is, and saying venereal disease was so weirdly inappropriate, it felt like Mad Men 1965. What are you saying to this young blonde woman who just asked you about
it's so true.
So bad. But at the same time, I just think this guy was caught off guard, flustered, triggered, and it's kind of sad. I mean, he's old, but look, you can't deny the legendary status of fucking Charlie Munger. What these guys are good at, they're the best that have ever done it. So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, the first thing when I read that, when he said venereal disease, I was like, oh, so highly contagious. I'm like, that's good. But no. I mean, the one point that he did make is that he's entitled to invest his money wherever he wants to invest. That is absolutely true. Berkshire Hathaway has a long-standing history of investing a certain way, and they kind of hold that fiduciary responsibility to invest in that way because of their investors, right? Even Elon Musk got a lot of heat for investing a very small fraction of their money into Bitcoin, saying that it's irresponsible, right? And I think a lot of people who traditionally invest their money with Berkshire Hathaway would probably feel the same way. But again, I mean, we're talking about a whole different game that they play, in all honesty, right? I mean, they're managing tens or hundreds of billions of dollars under their asset control. And, we talk about $100,000 or $1 million and like, oh, we got 100% last year, or this person turned 180% last year. If you invested into crypto, you got 500% and all of this stuff. They can't actually invest the sums of money that they're typically investing in the way that, most people do, right? They can't move it around in the same way. These are true market movers. And, when Warren Buffett comes out and says, yeah, sure, I made 12% last year, but if I was managing a portfolio of $10 million, I probably could have done 200% as well. Right. Like I think the one thing is that when we laugh at this, you also got to remember that they are playing an entirely different game than most of us are playing, for sure.
None of you listening should be wasting your emotional energy on Charlie Munger or Berkshire Hathaway. This is something to kind of chuckle at. Again, he didn't say anything in cut. Like when someone makes a good point, okay, and it triggers all of crypto Twitter, that's always interesting to me because you know what? There are good points out there to be made against crypto, and every once in a while, one of these intellectuals makes one. But this was just an incoherent rant. It's funny, and none of you should be wasting any energy on it. I mean, this is Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah, I mean, we pull it up because it's fun news to talk about, and we have a daily show to kind of cover some random shit about. What's that?
I was going to say, I'm sure many of you drink Coca-Cola, have your car insured by Geico, and go to Dairy Queen for an ice cream cone every once in a while. So, shout out Berkshire Hathaway.
I'm only going to pull this article up. We kind of touched on it either yesterday or earlier, but only because it's hitting close to home for me. Canadian police tell exchanges to halt Bitcoin and Ethereum trades tied to trucker blockades. The RCMP has told exchanges to block and report trades associated with several crypto wallets. Now, a couple of things that are important to remember with this is that a lot of people on Twitter are saying they're going after crypto. Nothing has changed in terms of crypto, except, there's I think it's 22 wallets or something that they've kind of flagged as, important to watch. I'm not going to get into whether or not that's right of them to do. It's a completely different argument and whatnot. But the one thing I will say is, regardless of which side of the fence you're on, one conversation that I've seen a lot amongst, my peer group or my friends in Canada, or just even in social media, like some family and stuff like that, they're talking about crypto a lot. Right. And I do think that that's a good thing. Like, people kind of get all up in arms about certain things happening. And again, I'm not commenting on that. But a lot of times these, broad sweeping statements and ideologies that are going down really start to drive the conversation forward. So that was very fascinating. And to see how it's driving the conversation with a lot of my, people that I follow on Facebook. I don't want to call them my social circle, but it really is happening. The other thing I just want to say is to like be careful. I saw a tweet going around yesterday that said, "Oh, like surprise, surprise, they invoke the Emergencies Act, and now all of a sudden, all 5 Canadian banks were down simultaneously." I can confirm that they were not. RBC was down, but it was being shared as truth. So it's just there's a lot of just a lot of shit flinging going down with this story right now. I don't know if you have a comment on this or not.
Can goods get in and out of this area they're blocking off, or are they blocking off the ability for goods to get in and out of Canada?
Well, yeah, in and out of Canada, because there is some stuff going down at borders, and they are blocking a lot of the city streets in Ottawa too. So there is some definitions being thrown around about what actually is the proper protest going on here.
You guys grow your own potatoes for poutine, or do you import them from the U.S.? I'm concerned. Have you checked poutine prices recently?
I also can confirm that the price of everything has gone fucking up. But no, I have not. I just told you I was just at the gym. I'm trying to stay away from poutines. I'm really doing my best here.
Ooh, I taste it now. Those curds and the potatoes.
If you guys haven't had a poutine, I actually was shocked because we were talking about poutines in the DGen Dojo, I guess a couple of weeks ago now. And so many people were like, what the fuck is that? And then they were Googling and they're like, this looks amazing and disgusting at the same time. I'm like, welcome to the rabbit hole of poutines, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy.
Poutine, baby.
If you are on any kind of calorie restricted diet, stay away.
Canada really doesn't need to do anything. They're trying to. You guys have poutine. You have decent weed, not the best, but it gets you by, and you have hockey. I mean, what is it? There's nothing else that government should just chill. Everything's good. Everything's good.
Decent weed, a couple of hockey teams, and poutine.
Yeah.
I'll write my local MP right now. Guys, just chill out. It's not that bad here.
Morton's is just icing on the cake, baby.
Canadian haggis, Illidan is saying. I don't know what is different about Canadian haggis, but if you actually haven't had haggis, it is delicious. And I know it sounds disgusting, but
it sounds disgusting. I have never had haggis.
You've never had it?
No.
No, it's actually good shit.
Did you have like homemade haggis, or did you? Oh, it's homemade haggis. Wow.
It's actually pretty hard to find like mass produced haggis. Like you actually have to go to like specialty shops and stuff to buy it. I don't go out and buy it and be like, honey, we're having haggis for dinner. But
in Scotland, you could get it at like the McDonald's. There's like the number 3 on the menu is
that like the haggis burger?
Haggis. Yeah.
I would order that actually. I would order that. Well, you know what? I worked in pubs for a long time, and not only cooking, but in managing them and stuff like that. Robbie Burns Days, a Scottish poet, very big day in pubs, in pub history. And you have haggis. It is what it is. You got to try it. It's good.
I go with the haggis with cheese.
This is definitely why people are here. They're like, I want to listen to them talk about Weather Report. We're just up here talking about poutines and haggis. Love it.
It's not that it's low levels of THC, JRP. Like THC, high levels of THC is not directly correlated to the effect you understand is high. There's something called the entourage effect, and things like terpenes, phenols, and all sorts of other compounds contribute it. So if you look at a lot of the cannabis cups, which is a contest that High Times run, or all these competitions, you'll notice that while there's a lot of 30% entries, it tends to be the ones around 15 to 20% that win. And why is that? It's because that the compounds in it are balanced, in which it gives you taste and a nice effect. So it really comes down to genetics. And right now, California just has the best genetics in the world, hands down. Not that there isn't some heat that comes out of Canada, but things come down to genetics. And I just think, Cali is unmatched. They're undefeated right now. So.
Oh, I mean, that's coming from a native New Yorker like yourself. So it's got to mean something.
Definitely. There's no, you can't even, you can't. It's
like Napa Valley wine, man. The climate is just good for it.
It's that terroir, baby. Terroir.
Samuel is saying that his college used to have a poutine truck that came around on 2 a.m. on the weekends at his college. And yes, I can confirm that it is probably the upper echelon of junk food. Absolutely. AM show hijacked. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on. Shoebag. Thank you very much. Last news article that I have pulled up, actually second last, sorry. El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption may pose risks to U.S. financial system, says the senators. Senators have introduced a bill that asks the State Department to review El Salvador's Bitcoin law and develop a plan to mitigate potential risks. Bukele responded on Twitter with, "Okay, boomers, you have zero jurisdiction on a sovereign and independent nation. We are not your colony, your backyard, or your front yard. Stay out of our internal affairs. Don't try to control something you can't control." Just as a quick thought experiment, I was curious as to why the U.S. is so concerned about El Salvador posing this risk. And looking up the GDPs of both countries, we are talking about $23 trillion versus a quarter of Elon Musk's net worth at $25 billion.
Guess who owns all their sovereign bonds? American hedge funds. Yeah, that's why they care. They don't need this country going fucking bankrupt like Argentina or Puerto Rico so that, Ron Perlman loses a bunch of money. Right? They're not concerned with the people. They're concerned with Peter Elliott's profit at the end of the year. How much percentage he made on his fucking, Salvadorian bonds. So that's what it is. They're protecting hedge funds' debt interest. Period.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you put it like that, I guess it kind of does make sense. But I mean, it just seems like such a small.
And he's triggered. And quite frankly, the president of El Salvador is triggered because he knows that they've got him by the balls until Bitcoin goes to 100 grand. Because if Bitcoin falls by half, they're going to come knocking, asking for their bond payments. So
he's just going to buy more on his couch naked, as he says.
Well, that's the thing, though. How do they buy Bitcoin? Do you know how they buy it? They borrow money from the rest of the world with their debt market. That's how all countries operate. They're borrowing money from rich countries for a percentage for bonds. I mean, that's what's happening. So, yeah.
You got it. I mean, this is hilarious. It's like when you have a millennial running a country, I guess. This was pretty funny. I just love that you said, "Okay, boomers." Last news article that I have pulled up here is Melania Trump wins the Melania Trump NFT auction. I want to show the Bloomberg article, but for some reason it gates me every time I click on it. So that was nice of them. But yeah, they traced the wallet that won the Melania Trump NFT bid back to the one that minted the initial one, and there was only 1 degree of separation here. They transferred enough SOL from that wallet to a secondary wallet. That wallet bid on it was the winning bid, and then they, I guess, were out there saying how exciting it was to be selling NFTs. I'm not sure. I think they were trying to prop the price up, maybe trying to save face. This is, I guess, an example of people who aren't familiar with blockchain using blockchain to try and make money. I don't know. This is just like absurdity at its finest. I love it.
Yeah. The Trumps, NFTs, SPACs.
Well, this would have been a very interesting story, as you said in the pre-show, if Trump was still president.
Exactly. If he was president, I feel like this would have made the news, and it would have been good for the NFT industry because it would have been NFTs all over the news. Now nobody cares. Who gives a shit what Melania Trump is doing?
Oh, Bloomberg does, apparently. I just thought it was funny.
Nobody reads Bloomberg crypto. It's the only part of that site they don't read.
I don't know. Yeah. I'd take the 833,000 followers. I've never actually clicked through anything Bloomberg on Twitter, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So, yeah, here we are.
Shout out Stalwart. Shout out Joe Weisenthal. Smartest mind on Wall Street. He's not
Ryan Reynolds
for Bloomberg, but that means you're on Wall Street.
I don't know. Anyways, I got to stop clicking. Okay, X2Y2. I guess at the time that I had this pulled up was over $4, pulling back a little bit to $3.60. It has far surpassed looks rare now, which has definitely been on the oh god, I left my Stegosaurus pattern written on this chart here. It has broken out of the Stegosaurus pattern.
Speaking Stegosaurus.
What's that?
It's a puking Stegosaurus.
It is now into the puking
Growing up.
Stegosaurus. Yeah, I got to draw more line. No, I'm not going to draw them. I forgot that I had done that, to be honest with you. But yeah, X2Y2 is continues to be surprising. I was able to claim them. It's hard to say whether or not this is a good chart, if this is going to continue to go up, because as you've experienced, you can't actually claim it right now. And I'm wondering, if this price is getting a little overinflated, and all of those people sitting on the sidelines are licking their lips at the thought of being able to claim their X2Y2 about 3x from where I sold it. Can confirm? Still can't claim yours?
Still can't claim mine. That price is real for anybody who claimed. If you have not claimed, do not get married to that price, because when it opens, it's falling 80%.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done much digging into like X2Y2 again. Like, I mean, people have said good things about it. People have said not great things about it. There's a whole like the tokenomics of it. I mean, one of the big things that they are kind of pounding the table on was that there was no pre-sale for whales to get in on the action before they were airdropped to everybody. But I've seen a lot of people in the DGen dojo talking about the staking mechanism of it, and they're actually earning like just an obscene amount on top of what they were initially airdropped. So I mean, if you held, great play. Honestly, free market said it time and time again, and I was stupid enough to not listen to them. There's no reason not to hold these for a little bit, because the upside is, huge, and the downside is whatever gas you paid to claim your airdrop. And yeah, so I mean, it's been killing it right now. If anybody has any comments on it, or if you've been using it to, varying degrees of success, let me know. But yeah, I don't know.
X2Y2. The stupidest fucking name I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I agree with that too. Too many
They're
syllables.
Gonna fail on the name.
What would you change it to?
I don't know.
2XY, 2X2Y. No, it's a mouthful.
My favorite tweet yesterday was, I just realized X2Y2 is pronounced artifact.
Oh, it took me a second to clue in there. Yeah, I mean, how long did it take you to realize that artifact was pronounced artifact?
A minute.
A minute?
I
think it was like a couple months.
Ella, unless you used OpenSea before. Oh yeah, you did, because you have a swamp frog, a swamp birth frog there. Yeah, so you just got to go there. You approve 3 collections and list one thing from each collection, and then you will be eligible to claim when it opens. Right now, it is still closed, and there is no timeline for when it will open.
Yeah. Speedy G saying he's staring at his casino fund and can't gamble it. A DGen after my own heart, for sure.
Don't stare at it, because it's really only worth $650, because the moment they open it, it's falling 85%.
Yeah, it was weird for them to stop doing that. But I guess they had their own reasons. What is the API for staking? I actually couldn't tell.
I don't fucking know these people. This could be a complete complete nonsense. This UI is exactly like Looks Rare. I'm sure you could have a programmer copy that API and throw a new skin on it in like 3 days. I don't fucking know. Nothing. I'm pissed.
You're pissed. You're watching everybody else degen away their X2Y2 tokens. Hey, maybe this will, I guess, like you said, you got to be the first in there and claim and sell to be able to realize the profits of where
JC,
they're at right now.
Did you expect Wonder Pals to give you more than 2 mints for OG? You got to understand. All right. These are the hypest drops in the world. I aren't giving anyone more than 2 mints. 10,000 of these things. How many people are whitelisted? They can't give anyone more than 2. I'm surprised they're giving 2 mints with Wonder Pals.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say. We were talking about star catchers before the show, and we can kind of jump into that a little bit if you want. And wondering what the allow list sale dynamic was. And I actually, was pleasantly surprised to see that it was 2. I'm thinking like this could be a no-brainer 1, and they could,
Yeah.
pre-sale as many people as they want, and they would still sell probably every single one of them. So
And
I mean,
projects love that. They want as many uniques as early as possible. So for them, they don't, you want 20 because what's going to happen here, but they want as many uniques but we have different interests in that very specific sense at launch, right?
There's definitely an upper echelon of excitement and hype that you can grow. And now you can talk about how that hype is grown, whether it's manufactured or organic. And I tend to believe that Starcatchers is sitting on the organic side of things. But once you kind of cross that threshold, as long as you're, treating that organic community with respect, you could pretty much do whatever you want. In terms of those dynamics, they could just list 7,000 people at 1 mint each, or they could half that and do 2 mints each or whatever. But when you are only when you're listing people to mint at 10, and there's this kind of hype, it makes it easy for people to sell early. Now you could argue maybe that's good for it or not, but if you start your project secondary at a unique ownership of like an average of 2, I mean, you're in an incredible spot because people are really, really tasked with the dilemma of, do I want to sell one? Do I want to sell both? Or do I want to hold on to these for a long period of time? I think people tend to err on the side of, I want to hold on to at least one of these for a long time, especially when we know that Starcatchers is looking like it's going to be a very quality project, and has a great deal of real hype around it. I really do think that this is only going to benefit the people that can get in early on it and are willing to hold this project.
And remember, these JCV lemons and aliens minted at a completely different time, and you'll have that again. Right now, we're at the tail end of the current cycle. All right. We started out with 0.02, 0.03 mints. People weren't sure if they'd sell out. You could mint as many as you wanted. Yeah. All that great stuff. That's just not the phase the market is in. Right now, the market is rejecting junk. They're looking for quality. Projects are pricing. The quality ones are pricing that way. And they want high uniques. They're limiting it. We're towards the end of that. You're seeing the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 mints. I talked about it back when we were having the 0.02 mints. I said you're going to see the phases. And we're towards the end of that phase right now. And we're going into seasonal bearish seasonality. So I could very much, you may be able to get all these wonderful things at a discount very soon. And on top of that, you're going to have another chance at these 0.02 and 0.03 mints, because when we start coming out of this in late April, in May, and we're heading into the very bullish period of summer, I believe you're going to see another Bored Ape Yacht Club, another Little Lemon Friends, another Alien Friends. This is when they're born, April, May, June, because of the bearish period we're about to go through.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to put yourself in the situation that we were in when like Lemon Friends, Cool Mans, and Alien Friends all minted, and it was such a completely different market. Right now, quality projects are in such high demand and low supply. There's tons of mints going on, but they've all been mired in either controversy or just obvious shit or just obvious cash grabs, like we see with the copy and paste 3D animal profile pictures that I'm starting to see less and less and less now, and I'm so happy that that is actually happening. But the scarcity lies within the quality now. Now, we talked about next week going down with Starcatchers, Wonder Pals, that Three Landers, actually, I'll pull that up right now too, because that's looking pretty good. Three Landers minting on the weekend. Invisible Friends is minting next weekend. And then Weather Report, Weather Report is a whole nother story, but until yesterday, that was falling within that quality mint thing. Now, obviously, people are starting to be very conscientious of what they're minting. They're starting to dig a little bit deeper. People are aware of what's going on in the NFT space. And, a lot of these things that we kind of revered in high regard, or held in high regard, it's coming out that there's more than meets the eye. But it's one of those things that when, as Free Market said, when Lemons was minting, we were pretty confident that they were going to mint out, but we weren't sure, and it was a cheap mint. The dynamics of what's going on here are completely different. So I said I was going to pull up 3 landers, and I did not. But this is a project that is minting on the 19th, which is Saturday for the pre-sale, and the 20th for the public sale. And it's not one that we've talked a lot about. In fact, I don't know if we've mentioned it on the show, but I got to say, these are looking really, really good. I don't have, allow lists on these or anything like that, but I'm going to be watching. And if there's a reasonable supply left of these on the, for the public sale, I probably am going to try and mint these. Have you had a chance to look into them? I mean, I think the art style is great. It's almost got like some Simpsons kind of vibes to them, although not, more like inspired by rather than like a ripoff of. And I'm excited to see how this is going to kick off next week, if nothing else.
I haven't looked into it, but I lost the raffle, so I'm bearish now. No, I'm just kidding. I
did too.
Yeah, it looks amazing. So I don't know what it's about, but they look great, and they have fabulous partnerships. I really love this art. For me, the art is enough. I believe when I see art with soul, that the team is just as in love with it as I am, that the team is just as dedicated as I would be. Good art is enough. It's enough to indicate you probably have a passionate team. It's not 100%, and it definitely, you still have to go into the Discord, get to listen to interviews, all that great stuff. But I look at art like this, I know this is a team that cares, and that is why I'm bullish. Everyone is. This is an obvious cook, so we'll see how it plays out next week. Really good art.
Yeah, I just pulled up this kind of one of one that they did in their style of other projects, and I really think that this is a good indication of the talent of the artist to be able to kind of replicate the other. I'm covering it up like you're going to see me covering it up on the screen, idiot. You don't even have to look at the names of the projects, and that's a Subdoc, that's a Doodles, it's a Robotos, it's an Alien Friends, but they handle it in their own style so well, and there's some talent behind the artist there, some care and some dedication. I think that this, their banners look good, their website looks really. Do they have? I think they had this web. Was this the one with the website? Yeah, right here. They've spent time on this project, so I think it's gonna be a cook. If anybody in the chat has any insight into 3 landers, if you were lucky enough to get on the allow list there, please let me know. I think it's going to be fun to watch it go down. And I'm going to try and get it. Oh, is it a Dutch auction? No. Maybe I missed that. I apologize. I hope it's not a Dutch auction because
JWRS asks, are there any new developments with Lemons? Currently, we are syncing again, which does not bother me, but I thought Pixel Lemons have a positive effect on the price. Had you been listening to the AM show for weeks, I tried to tell people Pixel Lemons will not only have no effect on price, it could likely be a sell the news event. Yeah, I understand. This is how it works in markets. You buy the rumor, you sell the news, always. But you have 2 false premises here, because one, you're assuming that news should have a positive effect on something when it usually is the opposite. The positive happens before, and the negative happens after the news. The other thing is lemons are not sinking. Lemons are being accumulated. You must be looking at the floor price going from 0.5 to 0.36 and think lemons are sinking. Lemons are being accumulated. There were, I don't remember the exact number yesterday, but there were over 600 lemons a few days ago between the floor and 1 ETH. When I looked then, there was about 508. There may be a few more now. As right now, any collection that exists is seeing a bit of the liquidity come out for next week. Everybody is preparing for next week. Sure, there are some things mooning. There are some new collections that catch a bid, but lemons aren't falling. They're seeing accumulation. If you just go by the floor price, the only thing the floor price tells you is what you can get right now. So if you don't care, if it doesn't bother you that they're sinking, then there's no reason to look at the floor price. It's an illusion. Lemons are being accumulated, rares are moving, so they're not even falling. It's just, yeah, it's an illusion.
Yeah, I want to apologize about the three landers thing too. I did read that the mint I just read mint price will be 0.15, but that's for the allow list, and then the public sale is going to be a Dutch auction starting at 0.75 ETH, which I do actually think is a misstep. Saving grace is that they're actually doing the allow list before the Dutch auction, so I mean, it's kind of a weird dynamic one way or another though, because they're going to hit the secondary, and based on their secondary price, the Dutch auction is going to, it's going to be a weird dynamic. I don't know. I really do just hope we get away from this like big project Dutch auction kind of thing. I also was looking up how many people are going to be on the allow list for this. I can't quite find it, so it really does also depend on what the supply for the Dutch auction is going to be left there. But my apologies, JCV. You are absolutely right. In regards to the lemons, I also think you are correct. I think there was a bit of a conversation that we've had, and I've seen it going on Twitter too, about the companion projects, how soon you should mint one, whether or not it devalues your brand. Is it a good way to add more members into your community and whatnot? And I think that despite the brilliance of the Pixel Lemons, which went down, and it was literally just a button on OpenSea that you can flip, and you have this really, really great looking Pixel Lemon. I think there were some people who didn't stay up on the know in the lemon community and just assumed they just heard Pixel Lemons coming, blah blah blah, and maybe they were slightly disappointed and decided to list lower than floor. But as Free Market said, it's all about the accumulation. And a lot of times when you're looking at the floor, you really got to look at how many lemons to X amount, pardon me, and see how thin that is. Because if the volume picks up on something like that, it will rip very, very quickly.
I'm looking right now. There's 588 lemons between the floor and 0.999. Last time I looked, it was 618. So since the floor has fallen from 0.52 to 0.37, we've taken 40 lemons off the market. Okay, we're going to hit 5,300 uniques soon. So that's the thing. When I say it's an illusion, this is literally you couldn't get a cheaper lemon right now, in the sense that they're actually being accumulated, but you have a lower floor price. It's the best of both worlds. You're literally getting a sale at the same time you have the most positive indicator that these things are going to rocket the moment volume comes back into the market.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talk about this as well. The floor as an indicator is really such a bad way of looking at it a lot of times. And honestly, the way that OpenSea's floor functions, they should just take it off, really.
And here we go. I am now going through first.
You got them started on lemons.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. I'm through 15 rows. So we're at least the first 75 lemons for sale are by people who minted. Think about what that means. These are not people taking a loss. These are not people who bought at a higher price during the pump. These are all whales who took advantage of the fact that you could buy 10 and 15 and all that shit because it minted out slow and there was a big whitelist. Every time one of those lemons is sold, most of the time it goes to a new, unique wallet. If you saw people taking losses, bailing on lemons, trying to get out, floor price is falling, wall is getting thicker, yeah, that's all the shit that would make you scared in a collection. The opposite is happening in every way here. Only people selling right now are the people happy to take a 20x. That's what you want to see.
Nothing wrong with that. It's going to do a nice reset of the kind of the distribution of holders too. Mm-hmm. Kind of reset some really solid supports. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about weather report now and kind of the absolute shit show that went down yesterday in regards to that. Sometime early afternoon, it came out that the original artist Dentin had been removed from the team. They had offered him a compensation package that he was not overly fond of. And he was basically given the boot from this team. Now, the team was the first one to get out into the Twitter sphere, start a Spaces, and it immediately had like 3,000-4,000 people in it. Maybe that's a little high, but it was multiple thousands. They titled it
500 to 3,000.
Yeah, okay. They titled it The Truth. And they went up there. They all had Dentin blocked. Dentin was not only not able to jump into the Spaces, he couldn't even see it to listen to it. As Free Market mentioned earlier in the show, that somebody had to, FaceTime it to him so that he could listen in. And they proceeded to, tell their story. Tell the story of that this was an artist that they had hired. They used the term pencil pusher. They, said he'd only really done a week and a half of work. He hadn't really done much. He had just, drawn the concept for them, and all of the traits are theirs. They did all of the rest of the work. It slowly kind of came out that, yes, they did eventually offer him a partnership. And they offered him 5%, and, he declined it, and they went their separate ways. While they were in the Spaces, they were talking about, we don't really know this guy. We just hired him. But then also they were saying like, yeah, I think there was something about, dog sitting for one of the people, or I don't know. The whole thing on their side of the Twitter was conflicting reports, even from their own stories that they were speaking. And I think the biggest point of frustration was that despite people calling for them to let Dentin into the space, they refused to. It's an interesting way to frame a Twitter Spaces as the truth when you're, suppressing the other side of the story. You and Maz were fortunate enough to get in contact with Dentin and host your own Spaces. You guys, patiently waited for that one to end, but they kept going. So you fired it up and started going, and people jumped in there to listen to Dentin's side of the story. As a mostly third-party observer from this, I have to say there were two very clear distinctions between the Spaces. And when I say the Spaces, I mean, I want to give you guys a lot of credit for how you handled it. But at the end of the day, I want to say between Dentin and the Weather Report team, Dentin, throughout the entire time that I listened to him speak, never once spoke badly about Weather Report. And that was not the case about Weather Report to Dentin. Dentin, the entire time, only said things in which he claims he has facts and screenshots and recordings to back up that evidence. He spoke very well of it. He said his piece. He said that, he was misled. He was dragged along. He spent hours and hours and hours and days and days and days working on concepts, sending it out to them. He would post stuff from his Twitter in which they would demand that he took it down from his Twitter so that they could share it from their own. He was basically pushed off to the side. When it came down to it, they basically got this whole concept out of him and then offered a compensation package of 5%, or I think $10,000, right? He wanted to take an equity stake, but said, 5% when the rest of the team is taking a much, much, much larger cut than I am doesn't seem fair. I would like to negotiate for more. Now, according to Dentin, at that point, they basically ceased all communications with him, blocked him, said you're not part of the team anymore, and have since then gone on with Weather Report, hired other artists. It's coming out that other artists said that they were using predatory tactics on how they were hiring as well. And here they are, about a week away from a launch that is probably going to net them several $1 million. And Dentin, has not been compensated a cent for his work. This is a crazy story, and I think that it just really highlights the importance, for one, upfront communication. I think even Dentin will say, in hindsight, this would have been something that we should have discussed and negotiated before he did the body of work for them. But is also really highlighting the exploitative nature in which a lot of people are operating in this space. I kind of said my piece here. I want you to talk about it more because you were the one that was engaging with Dentin. You listened to the Weather Report Spaces almost front to back. And I actually, just a little bit more context. The one thing that was also frustrating to a lot of people was that the Weather Report's side of it was not recorded, and it felt intentionally so.
Good for them. because if that had been recorded, that shit would be viral today, and they would not come off looking good because the team was defensive. They were making ad hominem attacks on him, and they were talking out of both sides of their mouths. He is the soul and the base of the model for their project. So when they came out, of course they had to laud him, because if you shit on him and his art, you're shitting on your own project. So they start talking about how great he is, but then by the middle and end, they were just attacking him, telling him his work wasn't that good. That's why they decided not to continue. They could do it better. They said it many times. Our art is better. We thought we could do it better. And they diminished what he did to a circle. They claimed that legally it's just a circle. And how could he have any claim over something like a circle? Now, R2 has Dentin's work up on the screen right now. This is what he designed. It is not just a circle. It is the exact template that Weather Report took and has made the basis of their entire project.
And once he got removed from the team, he basically just said, fuck it, I'm doing my own thing.
Which was wrong. No, and again...
Oh, sorry, am I wrong about that?
No, you're correct. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say you were wrong there. I was off base. But Dentin will admit, as far as the business negotiations go, and as far as how an artist should handle themselves, he did everything wrong, okay? He did not protect himself in any way. He did not get anything in writing. He did not put his foot down, and he let these guys steal his work. That is true. That does not give this team the right to take his illustrations, make it the base of their campaign that's going to make millions of dollars, and not even compensate him a penny. I saw a lot of people framing this as, well, when you hire someone for a job and they're paid, that's it. That's how a business works. Dude, don't you get it? What do you think? Everyone should just get a percentage? Sure. And first of all, I don't agree. Because when it comes to these NFT projects, we have to hold a higher standard to these teams. If the artist isn't on the team, I'm not even investing anymore, period. There should be no situation where it's just a hired gun, or as they so insultingly put it, a pencil pusher, which Dentin is not. Dentin is a real artist. And this came through in his calm and rational explanation of what happened yesterday versus the team's angry and defensive posture. And I tried to make every excuse for this team along the way because I came into this completely neutral. I had been trying to get whitelists from the team for my Discord. I had seen Weather Report and thought that nothing, I didn't think anything too much of it. And I saw Toby associated with it. And Toby Lasso is an upstanding member of the NFT community, well-known in Cool Cats, and he seemed to be universally loved. So I in no way thought that this type of thing was happening with Weather Report. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. We just wanted to hear Dentin's side because he was not allowed to speak. So we brought him up, and I will tell you, it was a stark contrast between the defensive, angry posture of these two creators, Will and Zach?
Yeah.
Are those their names?
Yeah.
And Dentin, who, again, very eloquently told us what happened. He told us what he did wrong, and it was a lot. But when he laid the facts out and we saw what happened, this is still theft. It doesn't matter what Dentin did wrong. You are stealing this artist's work, making it the basis of your project, and trying not to pay him. That is messed up. And towards the end of it, I said, you know what? This isn't over. I think Weather Report can make this right. The ball is in their court. I didn't want to demonize anyone. I don't want to cancel anybody. I don't want to take anyone's bag. And I was hoping they would make it right. Lo and behold, this garbage team puts out a statement leaning in to everything they just.
I'm going to read it in its entirety because I think it's important to have it all out there and whatnot. So if we're up to the report now, I'm just going to read this. Okay. So they posted on Twitter about 12 hours ago. So about 10 PM last night, 10:30. Weather Report is a brand created by artists. We built this project with the express intention of championing Web2 minority-owned streetwear brands, connecting IRL with the metaverse, and bringing more culture and talent into our Web3 home. The statement our previous artist, Dentin, released today is a business disagreement that has been aired publicly. We hired an initial artist to bring Zach's creative vision to life. Dentin was working within a tight, niche creative framework that predated him. So much of this grand vision and the specific parameters of the artwork were in place before working with Dentin. After primarily agreeing to payment terms, Dentin later asked for a renegotiation, asking for a full licensing agreement to our artwork. Our intention was always to give full rights to the artwork to our community and collectors. Knowing this, we couldn't agree to any renegotiated terms with this caveat attached. Upon the suggestion of our legal counsel, we were advised to move forward. Since parting ways, we have created a completely separate art with a team of 4 artists working in tandem, all expressed under Zach's vision. No original art created by Dentin, including trait ideas derived from our direction, have been used in the final Weather Report collection. Dentin is an extremely talented artist, and we wish him success with his project in the future. This conversation raises a myriad of important questions, from artist compensation to the difference between a brand and a solo artist's vision. Important topics that we must continue to discuss as a community. We are building a brand with many moving parts and multiple different artists working under our creative director's guidance and vision for the company and project. Weather Report will always champion artists, and we will always have an open dialogue with our community. Thank you to all our friends who reached out with words of support and encouragement. What we release next week will prove the statements above, working collaboratively to bring minority culture to the forefront of Web3. Much love, the Weather Report team. There's a lot to kind of unpack here, especially because so much of it is in direct conflict with not only things that they said on their own spaces, but things that Dentin mentioned in the spaces hosted by AlphaMint.
I believe. Go tell them.
Well, no, I was going to say the first things that pop up into my mind were the fact that they said we are now working with a team of 4 artists. Now, keep in mind, Dentin was the only original artist, and he was working during his day job. Or this is Dentin's point of view and what he's saying, based on the way that he said it and the proof that he has. I'm inclined to believe it, but let's just keep that in mind. He was the only artist. They offered him a 5% equity in the project, which he said is, not fair. Apparently, when he said that, it was, they offered to hire more artists to help with him, but that it would come at the expense of his own equity and not theirs. So they were willing to chop up his 5% to hire more artists. Now they have a team of 4 artists doing the work that Dentin was doing. I think that is number one. Number 2 is Dentin is an extremely talented artist, and we wish him the success. It did not sound like that in the spaces that they were talking. And in fact, they went as far as saying that his artwork wasn't up to their standards and they felt that they could do better. Right? That's a bold-faced lie to put that in this fucking report here and to come out and say, and guess what? Their Twitter spaces wasn't recorded. I hope somebody recorded it. I hope that you can get it out of Twitter, because what they said there directly contradicts this. They say that they're championing artists. They suppressed their artists. They wouldn't even let him come up on stage to say his piece. Okay. This is an official looking document that is honestly poorly written. It directly contradicts so many of the things that they have said, not only what Dentin has said. And I just think that like now
spelling errors in it.
I didn't even look. Now this has almost done more to discredit their side of the story. And I think I'm more inclined to side with Dentin than I was yesterday upon waking up and reading this.
I'm glad you brought up Fishy Fam. This is the exact same story, but worse.
Fishy Fam's artist got compensated a lot more than Dentin has.
He got compensated infinitely more. I forgot what they paid him, 0.25. Pathetic. And again, I think there's a few things to take away from this. Number one, any project where the artist is not on the team and owns a large percentage of what's happening, I don't even want to be involved with. The art is the soul. The art is what bonds everybody here. It's what creates community, and community is what creates a high floor price. So if the artist isn't on the team, I'm completely out. All right. This is the central issue with it, is that there are so many business-minded teams out there that are looking for hired artists to just put out a project and make money. And when you look at Jay Vaughn and Fishy Fam, and you can tell that they, you saw Jay Vaughn's original sketch. They hand it off to an artist, and you see what they put out. It looks like Jay Vaughn's work, but there's no soul. You can see it. You can see that it's cold and traced and an imitation, and it comes through in it. And it's the same thing with this weather report. Sure, theirs are more polished, more modern, bolder colors, because they handed it off to someone and said to do that. But there's no soul there. These are cold. This project should not succeed. Nobody should support Weather Report. These guys are scumbags, absolute scumbags. All right. And I am not even saying that based on the facts, because many of the facts, who knows, right? It's he said, she said, all that type of stuff. I'm basing it on how they both behaved in their spaces and how they tried to both laud this guy and try to attack him at the same time. And the reason you do that is because you're lying. The reason you say two things contradicting each other is because you're a liar. That's the only explanation, is that they were lying, and they realized their first lie fucked them in one way. So let's say this other lie, and then that lie fucks them in another way. These guys are liars. And the only person who came off even remotely rational and coherent there was Toby. And I hope that he distances himself from this team, much like many of the people who were working with them. There are many people I respect who are working with them who have distanced themselves now, and I applaud it. These were friends of theirs. This is hard. This is breaking relationships. But you know what? You can't support this. Anybody who supports this project needs to check themselves, because this is some egregious shit. They stole this art, period. They stole it. They didn't compensate him at all. And the reason for not compensating him is because they were saying he was being greedy. Him.
Imagine being the back end team taking, I think, 6 times more individually each than the artist was being paid, right? And then saying he's being greedy, and if you need more help, we can do it, but it's at the expense of your own bag, right? And there was no like, man, thank you for working your ass off. If this load is too much for you, we can find it in the budget to hire another artist, give you some support. Let's make this a reality. Nope. It was just, it's at your price.
Are they also saying that if he had taken the 5%, they would have gone with what they thought was worse art?
Yeah, exactly.
What is it? What are they even trying to say? They're not trying to say anything because they're lying. Okay. So not only did they commit an egregious act on the people that Web3 is supposed to lift up, but now they're lying to us about it. Anyone that supports this project is fucked. I mean, this is completely fucked. I am appalled at what's going on here. I was appalled with Fishy Fam. I am appalled with Weather Report. And I am going to support both Javon's and Dentin's project with the utmost enthusiasm. I love these guys. They're genuine artists. They're putting their heart and soul on the page, and I can't wait to support them.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna say, like, the Spaces was hosted by Maz yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. I'm gonna put it on a caption here. It's at 0xjmaz. I will put it up there for you to go on Twitter and go listen to it, because you need to hear the way that Dentin speaks about it. There was no, again, I'm gonna say it again, there was no character assassination. There was no wishing ill will. He was just telling his story from his perspective. He even went as far at the end of it to say, you know, I've just blindsided them with this. Okay. So you have to understand that they're reeling. He was like saying to people, like, don't go after them. Let them internalize this and figure out how they're going to deal with it, because they're going to have their own story to tell. And I think that, Dentin would be the first to admit that, yes, as Free Market said, mistakes were made, but they have their own reality and he has their own reality. And it was really important that I don't recall him ever really saying this is the absolute 100% truth. right? But the way that he said it, the way that he spoke, the honesty in which I think he spoke with. I mean, if you want somebody in the NFT space being a big deal, being an advocate for NFTs, being out there in the world, I mean, regardless of the whole weather report thing, just listening to Dentin talk, I want to support this guy if this had never gone down. This guy's smart. He gets it. He's a real artist. He moved into NFTs to make a big change in his life, to, give agency over his own artwork. It was taken from him, and he's still proceeding forward. And again, did it without any nastiness. There was no toxicity in that at all. And I think that was just really, really, really important for us to continue to move forward with this, because it's not the first time that this has happened. It's definitely not going to be the last time that happened. But I think the more that everybody's conscientious of it, and, we're properly looking into teams, we're getting the appropriate information out before we grab our pitchforks. And, keep in mind, free market is, and I myself, I mean, he's way more expressive than I am, is very frustrated right now. Go listen to that Spaces. This was not the tone in real time. The tone was, this is discovery. Let's learn what happened. Let's hear both sides of the story. And now that we've heard both sides of the story, and they post this legal document or letter or whatever they want to call it, statement.
They should have spell checked it, maybe.
And directly conflict a lot of the statements that they made in an unrecorded Spaces. I mean, I know whose side I would take in this, if when it comes down to it. Dentin is doing a new project. It is using his art. You can see the soul in it. You can see the effort in it. He is doing this. He does have some help. Scuba was in there. They mentioned that they did hire an artist to help him with some line work and do some stuff in there, and make this a reality. But he is launching a project called Dented Feels. And I think, if you had a whitelist spot to weather report, I'm not here to tell you what to do morally or anything like that, but I know I just wouldn't do this. I do not want these fucking people, not Dentin, the weather report people, to have any of my money. Okay. Maybe it would be a cook. I hope it's not, but it is just time for the NFT market to start understanding that we have to reject this shit, right? Because that money that is going into weather report is probably going into their bank account after. And that's okay. Everybody that's doing a project can get paid. They are allowed to make good changes in their life. Maybe they can buy a house with it, or maybe, they're getting married and it can pay for their wedding, or they can go on a trip that they've always dreamed of or something like that. That's fine. You're allowed to take money out, but the way that they've conducted themselves is so disrespectful to not only Dentin and the art, but the NFT community itself. And I just don't want them to have any of my ETH. Right?
Right. I think human beings are a much better judge of character than we give ourselves credit for. And if you listen to both Spaces, it was very obvious to me what happened here. And once this team, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. Once they put out this statement, they are dead to me. This is opportunistic. This is predatory. This is direct theft. I won't support it. I think anyone that supports it has issues. I hope this project fails. I hope it doesn't mint out. These guys shouldn't get $1 for what they're trying to do to Dentin right now. And I'm going to mint Dentin's project.
Yeah, absolutely. I honest to God believe that Dentin is going to have a very great and long career. And I think that he would have, if, this hadn't gone down and he'd been treated with the respect as a partner on Weather Report, but that is obviously not going to happen. And he is doing his project, Dented Feels. Honestly, go check it out. If you haven't, I'm going to pull it up bigger on the screen here for you, at Dented Feels NFT. Go support this guy. Honestly, he is going to have a great career. He's a smart individual. I loved his temperament. I loved, his desire to just express his own story, and his art's fucking amazing. And I actually liked the art of Weather Report based on the stuff that he has done. And I, it's a shame that they are moving forward with this substandard art that they said that he created. And, I hope that they are not the beneficiaries of this. Now, I wouldn't be saying this if they were, there's 4 people there and they were equally agreed upon fair, equitable splits involved in that, but that's not the reality we're talking about here, right? And I think it just goes into a greater conversation about, if there's a big green flag that you want from an NFT project, is the artist the founder or being held as a founder or partner or the artist or whatever, right? And, that might not always be the case. And times are changing and we're learning and we're figuring out how to do things right because, the main idea is that Web3 is not just Web 2.9, right? We're not there. These conversations are important in moving that forward, right? And I just think that, looking forward into the future, these questions are going to be asked a lot more, and I think that the transparency that people are looking for will be present. And you know what? We're all figuring it out, right? And I'm not excusing the weather report, and I'm not excusing Dentin for leaving it as long as he did. Not the announcement, but working out their own arrangements and whatnot. But we are all figuring this out in real time. This is completely uncharted territory. It has never, ever been easier to partner up with people all over the world, create a project, have the success that some of these people are seeing. And with great money and great opportunity, there always comes these kind of big travesties, if you want to call them that. We're gonna figure this out, okay? But I just I want to applaud you, FMC, and Maz for hosting that space in the way that you did. It was so well organized. It was so under control. The pitchforks weren't coming out. This was just a great discussion. And if you guys have 3 hours where you want to listen to something, I mean, I can't recommend it more. I would also recommend you go listen to the original weather report one, but again, they didn't record it. So here we are. Dentin is doing Dented Feels. Go check it out. I think that this is going to be an important personality in the space in the time to come.
Zach and Will acted like garbage monsters yesterday, and I hope both their mamas slapped the eyebrows off their face, because if those were my kids, they'd be in the backyard picking out the switch I'm going to beat their ass with.
Did you just break your computer? You just throw it out the window? Boom.
I think we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's do it. How do you follow that up? Sheet Fighter minted last night. I probably should have brought this up before we moved into weather report, but I mean, yeah, this was a fun one that went down last night. Maybe the start of the text-based NFTs rearing their ugly heads again. This went down 0.05 mint, popped up in the DGen dojo last night. I walked in when it was around 3,500 minted. I said, oh, this could be interesting. Kind of sat on it for a few minutes. I was like, maybe I'll just let this see if this picks up. There was 8,888 of them. I'll just wait and see if they mint out a little bit more, get closer to mint. And next thing you know, boom, they were just gone. It's all randomly generated names and abilities and stuff like that. You have the ability to stake your fighters into it and earn some coins. And honestly, one of the fun things about this was that, it was just a good old fashioned mint. It just popped up. It wasn't super expensive. 0.05 these days seems like an absolute steal, and people were having fun with it. And look at it now. I mean, in this morning, I saw it go from 0.17 up to 0.28. It's sitting at about 0.235 right now. It was fun. It was a good time. It was good vibes. And it was just, it was good. I don't know if you ended up getting in on it. Like I said, I did mint out, but the website was great. They had a great little promo video that was very 90s style, which I don't even know if that's going to resonate with most of the people in here. But yeah, just kind of a Excel spreadsheet take on Street Fighter.
Yeah, I haven't minted anything since Cool Pets. I am starving. I don't know. I don't mint things anymore. But this was lauded by D's, which means that it's going to the moon. So good on everybody. Good on ya.
Yeah, this video is so good. I mean, it's just nostalgia across the board. I feel like I'm watching Saved by the Bell or something.
Good on ya. King Lawson saying I'm very New Yorkish. I said good on ya.
Very New Yorkian. Yeah, I mean, through and through.
My Australian lemon friend said, "Oh damn, I missed everything. The worst part about living in Australia is the time zone." I said, "Is the best part kangaroos?"
I didn't realize that kangaroos are I guess like almost like a rodent there. Is that what they're viewed as?
No.
Isn't that like a pest? Yeah.
Rodents. What are you?
Huh?
They're not rodents.
Well, no, sorry, like pests.
They're magnificent mascots for the country. They're not rodents.
Man, I wouldn't want to mess with one of those coming at you with their fists up, though. They would
knock you out.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't post what I said I would post it at Dented Fields. I'm just going to pull that up on the screen for you guys. Go check it out. There you go. Yeah, Sheep Fighters. Cool stuff. MFers was at 2.5 ETH floor. It cooled down to about a 1.4 ETH floor. And now, overnight, has just skyrocketed back to above 3 ETH. 3.3 ETH we are sitting at now. And this project just continues to amaze. I'm not sure if there was any reason for this. I tend to believe with MFers there isn't any reason for it, especially with the kind of the cornerstone standards of it, of like, it's just, nah, motherfucker, it just exists. Nah, there's no website, you do it. Nah, there's no Discord, you guys make it. Nah, there's no community, you want a community, make a community.
There's literally nothing more bullish than something going up for no reason, because there's no reason for it to stop either.
Oh my God! 8 minutes ago, 16.69 ETH sale. What is this?
Nothing. There was a 10 ETH. It's a zombie. There was a 10 ETH hoodie that sold. There was a 50 ETH one of one that sold. Guys, they're going to 10 ETH. I don't know how else to describe it to you. Anyone who didn't leap at 1.69 yesterday is probably also minting Weather Report.
Freaking MFers are just digital anarchy. I love it. Yes. That's a great way to describe it, actually. Digital anarchy. I'm here for it.
Punks one day.
What's that? What?
I don't know. You got me really bold for a second. I better.
Yeah. I was like, okay, man, like, let's reel it in a little bit here. I mean, if it does,
ARP.
You heard it here, but there's hot takes and then there's hot takes. I love it. Yeah, Shoebag's giving you the daddy chill GIF in word form.
Oh, my favorite GIF. Oh.
Yeah, you've been using that a lot too. That's amazing.
Have you guys ever seen that whole video?
No, I haven't.
It's a dad who comes home to his son throwing a wild party. And he's running around like, get the fuck out of here. This guy goes, Daddy, chill. Yeah, you gotta hear this guy. It was, oh my God, we gotta dig this video up. It was the best.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
Decoy is asking, didn't FMC say to exit MFers yesterday, or remembering wrong? I think you're remembering wrong.
No, I said do not buy at 3.4. I never said exit. I said do not buy at 3. People were getting very bullish the first time they hit 3.4, and I was very emphatic. It's the run is over. You missed it. Don't buy. Nobody asked me at 1.69, and I was busy yesterday, as you may imagine.
Yeah, no, for sure. And if there's one thing I know about FMC,
no one would have asked me at 1.69.
Doesn't often tell people to exit projects.
No, yeah, exactly. And
that's not your.
I tell people not to buy, because anytime my favorite projects start to moon, everyone comes and asks me if they should buy. It kills me. It kills me every time they start to moon. People come to me because I was right and ask if I should buy. No, buy when it looks ridiculous. Buy when I look crazy. Buy when it's not moving. When breakfast sandwiches just sit there unminted. Oh, this FMC is out of his mind. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's sometimes hard to dispute that. Maybe, I don't know. But in the best way possible. We love you.
Crazy like a Foxy fam.
You got it. Look at this. 71 viewers. Appreciate everyone showing up today. Let's turn some music on. I got some nice chill vibes going on here. I'm gonna close this down. I'm gonna get the restream link up into the AM show chat, and you got any DGens that's part of the Moon Lounge for AlphaMint are more than willing to, or you're more than able to come up and hang out with us for a bit. I know Cass jumped up yesterday, and I'm not sure if he got rugged or got busy. We tend to just start rambling at this point, but come on up and hang there. Oh my God, quick finger on that one. Cass, what's going on? You wasted no time this morning.
Did you buy that kaiju?
I fucking didn't.
Ah.
I fucking did. What I was thinking was it wouldn't sell, which it didn't. So now I'm waiting for him to relist a little bit lower.
I was gonna say, what was it listed at? I didn't even see.
1.9, which I think was fair for what it was.
Pretty fair. Yeah, that I would have guessed 2.4 for the amount of traits and the color, but yeah, 1.9. Yeah, you're right. He could probably list 1.6 today, maybe. I could see that happening.
I gotta say, this, I'm here for the play to mint meta.
That was fun, huh?
I despite the fact that apparently some people had found some glitches in the game or managed to kind of game it to get to. I was looking at that leaderboard and I was like, okay, what does it take to get to number 100? And like the bottom score at the time was like 3,300, and I was like, okay, I think I can get there. I broke 2,000 a couple times. I'm like, how the fuck are these people doing it? Well, lo and behold, apparently they were found a way to slow the game down and play it on slow-mo.
And boy, was Dots getting it in the general chat today in the Kaiju Kings. But you want to know the sign of a good team? He answered every question. He didn't insult anybody. He took every shit comment and FUD that was in there like he's like, look, guys, we deserve this. Anything you want to know, we will tell you. All cards on the table. This is how it is. This is what we tried to do. We've been building this for 8 weeks. All we want to do is put out a good product. They didn't shy away from it. I could not be more bullish on Kaijus and the team. And man, the baby that Cass was shopping yesterday was just, and look, it rips with the neon Genesis. My God, he just jumped over Jumpman with that Genesis buy. Look at that. Cass. Back to Cass.
Beautiful. It was beautiful. But then, funny. One of the reasons I came up on the show today, when I'm feeling a fuckload better, but I just I was wondering, all right, this could be my play on the whole kaiju thing, because I really, really, really want to get into the ecosystem. The people in there are fucking cool, man. Like, fucking cool. Like, it has Star Warsy vibes.
I was going to say, it's probably very similar to Star Wolves, because every time I'm in Star Wolves, it's the Kaiju Kingdom in there. Lots of Kaijus.
Exactly. So the vibe was similar, and I'm like, I really want one. But with the one thing I'm a little bit baffled about, with all this hype and news of all these other, no disrespect to no one when I say this, but shit NFT projects, I'm kind of wondering why the whole mutant kaiju thing has kind of gone under the radar a little bit. That's what it feels like.
Shiny new apple. I think this is one reason I'm so bullish on kaiju. I feel if it had the attention and popularity of some of these other projects, Genesis would be 20 or 30 each. I truly believe that. Like, and I think it's going to happen. I think it just comes down to people. I think everyone was obsessed with kaiju during its hype cycle, and then it crashed. And I think most people who weren't in the community or owned one left it for dead. And even though they've been quote unquote left for dead by like the popular masses who move markets like Andrew Wang or Farouk or these type of guys, I don't even know if they know what kaijus are, right? But though I think that it's going to happen for them. And I still get a bunch of questions now. Should I buy a Genesis or a baby? Should I buy a Genesis or a baby? I would buy a Genesis if you could get two. Otherwise, I would buy a baby and a failed experiment. But if people, to Cass's point, saw these mutants, I could very much see this collection catching a hype cycle of its own, catching the NFT world by storm, and everyone all of a sudden going, oh, wait, there's a Genesis collection? There's Genesis babies? What's going on here? Yeah, I just think that the market feels like it's old news in a sense, even though mutants are new. They think it's old news, but they'll be proven wrong, and everyone's going to go, "Oh wow, look at this gem from 2021." Everyone forgot.
Well, this is another thing I'm thinking, because I could have aped in and got a failed experiment, but what I'm thinking is that the lucky people that have got into the mutant whitelist might paper hand, and if they paper hand, for me that's a perfect entry to the kaiju system.
Yeah,
because to me that's what I'm hoping for, because I'm starting to notice the failed experiments are not by much, but they're going down a tad bit, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping if it gets down to an ETH, or maybe just wait until it mints and then wait for a couple of paper hands, get a mutant, and then fly in and get a baby, and that's my collection done. I'll retire from NFTs after that. We're good.
Yeah.
Just peaked.
Absolutely.
Good to go.
The
You know,
fail,
so-
yeah.
Yeah, go
Well,
on.
I want a mutant very badly. I mean, I want many mutants. I think they'll actually be under point. I think they'll be under 1 ETH, maybe 0.6 initially, because the failed experiments have the rare premium built into them, since they are a whitelist ticket themselves, aren't they? Or am I have that wrong?
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Aren't the failed experiments give you the right to mint mutant?
The failed experiment is a pre-revealed mutant.
Oh, it is. Oh, so it's already a mutant. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's already a mutant. So once when they mint, they will just turn into the first 3,333 Genesis mutants.
Gotcha. Cool. That's awesome.
So yeah, and I love the game, although it made me feel like I felt like I was tripping after spending 3 hours.
Oh, dude, I I have brief stints of vertigo here and there, although it's been a lot better lately. And I don't know, like I love it. I was having so much fun. These are the type of games that like I really, really like, but the movement, once I stepped away, I was just like, I had that like, oh my God, is this gonna trigger it? And it's it's such a shit feeling.
It was moving, dude. And I was like, am I seeing right? Is my screen moving on purpose? Has my screen fucked up? And I had to literally walk away for 15 to 20 minutes just to kind of realign my eyesight. It was fucked, but great game. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, look at it.
Speaking of which, I'm just gonna play it now.
Do you know the funniest thing? Look at the little kaiju, yeah? And just watching that little kaiju made me go, I need one. I need one.
Graphics, the look of this game has me so excited for their bigger game. Like, I don't know. This is my favorite video game graphics I have ever seen.
I'm gonna make the top 100 live here.
100. It was so sick.
The vibe, everything about this.
Soundtrack. Oh my days, soundtrack was so sick.
Yeah, it is dope. I love it. I actually just kept it on in the background for a while.
I can't. This has got to be one of the bigger blind spots in markets, with everybody buying games that aren't made, they don't know yet. All this, and you're sitting here. Augmented Labs is like, guys, we're about to do this. Hi, best art in the game. Hi. Like, all right.
Here's a question, because I was looking at Augmented Labs, and I didn't know this because I didn't do any deep dive. But ever since I wanted a kaiju, I have. Swampverse are part of the same team, or created by the same team, correct?
What?
Yep.
No, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that.
If you go onto Augmented Labs website and you see previous projects, Swampverse is on it with kaiju.
Oh man, I'm rusty.
Yeah, they must have helped them. But I'll go look right now. And Noxscape or N0Xscape. Noxscape was the one that I knew about. Where's their site?
Yeah, when I saw Swampverse, I was like, what the fuck? Really?
I feel like that would be like more apparent. Swampverse. All right. Now that I'm done playing this game. Oh, free market's looking.
Oh, I was looking, but I couldn't find it.
I'll give me a second.
Yeah.
See if I can find it.
I'm nerding out on the Kaiju King site right now. Like, ooh, look at that! I didn't know Dots owned that one too. And look at these custom ones they made for the artists.
And that Dots Donny, yeah, honestly, ever since he come on the show, I've just been fascinated with fucking kaijus because he's just so humble. That's what done it for me, man.
Yeah,
he's just so humble and a hip hop head.
He's got such a good energy too. Like he's kind of, you know, bouncing, you know. It's just fun to talk to him. You could tell that there was like a genuine excitement when you said something that like really piqued his interest. He was like just ready to dive right into it.
We love the Dots. And JCV, I have over 30 breakfast sandwiches. I keep them in my main folder, not my hidden. I love my breakfast sandwich.
I can't find this website.
I need a breakfast sandwich right now.
I think we're going to do a breakfast sandwich spaces this week and maybe give away 1 or 2 breakfast sandwiches. I think that would be fun.
What is this thing that's on your Twitter banner? Because I just clicked on 3LLL.
Is it the same banner?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all secret kaiju stuff. Buy a kaiju and get in there. I can't tell you.
I thought we were boys, man. Come on.
I like those price.
So another thing I wanted to ask as well, which I felt the same way as Free Market when he said the last thing he minted was Cool Pets, because even with Alien Friends, like I can mint it, but it's not giving me full conviction. Like
Ali and his friends.
Yeah, like I've still got I think 12, 13 hours to mint, which I'm watching.
Yeah.
Well, did you see that they apparently announced that they weren't going to do a public sale? Whatever's not minted, they're just burning.
Yep, which I think is good. Which I think is a good idea. I think. Because
I don't have anything against it.
No, I think it's only because the majority of their followers are already in that Discord anyway. So a bit like Wonder Pals, really. Like Wonder Pals, their public sale is going to be a raffle.
Right.
So
I hope I win that raffle. I cannot get. I'm in that Discord. There's only 6,000 of us. Come on, hook us up.
You know how many times I'm begging for this shit?
I mean, I can't even get a meeting with these people. They keep saying, yeah, no problem, and then leave me on. Oh, good, they have pre-sale spots for cartoons. They're not even giving away pre-sale spots for Wonder Pals.
Wait, who is this?
I don't know. I went in there to their giveaway thing, and I saw a contest running for whitelist spots, and it's not them.
Who? What
project?
Wonder Pals. Oh, Wonder Pals. Sorry, I kind of.
They're giving away someone else's whitelists.
Have you guys got any of the kind of trilogy whitelist by any chance?
Say that again?
Have you got any of the? I'm calling them the trilogy.
Oh yeah. Well, I have Starcat. That's my boo. It's the only one I care to mint. I will mint Wonder Pals if someone gives it to me. I'm not engaging in any type of like post mint sniping like I care. I just want I want 100 Starcat. That's what I want.
Yeah, I was going to ask in terms of minting of late. Have both of you found it a bit slow to find quality projects and shit? Or have you seen this? Have you noticed maybe a shifting change of sentiments at the moment in the market?
Sorry, one sec, Cass. Before we do that, I just wanted to bring this up. Someone, I should give them credit. Lemon's fan in our Discord brought up the Augmented Labs site. Sorry, I have the wrong screen shared here. Yeah, so they do have Swampverse listed.
There you go.
On Augmented Labs. When you drill down into it, it looks like they provided the contract for Swampverse. So I don't know that this was like their project, but maybe just did the back end for them.
Cool.
But still, I mean, involvement, right?
Nice.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday, and
I know Ella loves the toads. I mean the frogs. They're frogs.
Well, they're called toads.
Are they?
Aren't they? Well, it says Genesis toads on the screen. I don't know.
I'm surprised they didn't go with frogs. I mean, why associate yourself with toads?
Here's some alpha for you. FMC, check the project called Whiskers. Co-artist of letters, not Vinny.
Ooh. Yeah, we like the letters. Though I assume Toby will be or the letters will be distancing them. So I don't know. I shouldn't even open my mouth. I'm just gonna observe. Let me see. Whiskers. I'm looking it up as we speak.
I'll send you I don't know if I can invite you into the Discord. I don't even know how I got in this. Somebody.
Oh, I'm in there. Yeah. It's gonna be
somebody DM'd me.
Yeah, this is a cook. There's something special there, and I don't know what it is yet. I just hope because I was one of the first 200 people in there, I get an automatic 30-minute whitelist. Because this is going to be a cook. I agree with you. Good alpha, JCV.
What's
1,000 people in there now? Nice.
Whiskers.
Okay.
Yeah. There's something there. We'll get to the bottom of it. Fishing, fish. It's very cool. Ella, I still have some of that token. Before I sold my my Swampverse frogs, I claimed the underlying token. I should I'll give that away too on a Spaces. I don't need those tokens.
These look kind of cool.
Funny enough, FMC, I was actually scrolling through your wallet randomly yesterday. You got some stuff in there, man.
I do. I have a lot of stuff.
You have got a lot of stuff in there. Some of them was actually really, really, really cool. I was actually surprised.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got very nice.
I am a collector. I do like to collect.
Yeah. I kind of appreciated that from looking at your wallet.
Yeah, I don't sell a lot of stuff though. That I do need to live as well, and I don't have any other job, so I am forced to sell things now and again. But yeah.
No, but I think not blowing. Well, I am blowing your trumpet a little bit. It does look like a very well-rounded and solid wallet. To be fair.
Oh, thank you. There's a lot of stuff in my hidden folder I actually like too. So there, I don't know how you were looking, but there's a lot of stuff in the hidden I actually like too. I throw things there. I get bored, but it's like your house. Like you just got to change shit up now and again.
Nah, I know. I've got 2 wallets for that shit. So I send it to a wallet that no one knows. And
yeah,
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. So, what are you guys? Well, what are your cooks for this week? What are you really looking forward to, apart from mutant kaijus?
I know that the Losers Club is about to announce something. I don't know if they're minting this week, but I know they're minting soon. So I'm on the lookout for that because we got whitelists. Now we got quite a few for the Moon Lounge. I think about 100 that we got there between our priority passes and the Moon Lounge raffles and the team. Very, very good stuff. So looking forward to that one, but I don't know if it's this week or next week. Raid Party this weekend. They seem to be mooning this. I shouldn't say mooning, but they're now back above mint price.
They're doing well.
Showing a small profit. And that game is supposed to get going this weekend based on the last thing they said. I don't know if there were any changes to that, but I believe the 19th it was slated for. We got Kokodi revealing today, which I am pumped for. Holding my Kokodi. Very interested to see which rares I got. I'm assuming I got 4 or 5 rares. That's just how it is.
That's how it always works, eh?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. We should definitely have Dirty Milk on the show every day as a segment to tell us what this is. The man. This is the man who knows everything. He has all of this. He knows what's minting, when it's minting, pre-sale, what it's minting for. Dirty Milk for the win.
Yeah, Raid Party, they said 99% sure. 99.9% sure to add an extra decimal point in there. Going live. Cool Pets?
Any news on that?
You know what? I stopped paying attention because it's not in my wallet. Free Market might be able to touch on that a little bit.
On what?
Cool Pets.
Yeah, I'm there. I honestly, and I haven't done it.
Did they start the game up again though?
No.
As I found out yesterday, they paused it again.
I keep wanting to sell my egg. I'm bored and angry. Like you got to understand how much joy I get out of something like Ether Orcs and how we have some really big projects coming down the pike here, like Raid Party. they're just annoying me at this point. I feel like, there's got to be a limit here. Like you're screwing with me, and I want to just play this goddamn game already and see what's up. Milk is suffering because this game isn't going. This has been a very rocky launch. I don't even know what to say. I'd like to see if this is fun to play. If it's not fun to play, I don't know if I'm sticking around.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because even yesterday, I was tempted to sell my cool pet.
Yeah,
I really was.
I'm pissed. I'm sorry, and this isn't a reflection of what I think of the Cool Cats project. I am a customer. I have this thing, and I'm just starting to get pissed with it. That's all.
No, I get that. I feel you with that. 100%.
Somebody's asking about cryptoids.
Help.
Cool Man's back under 2 ETH. I told you.
Did you?
I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I am telling you. I can tell when something looks heavy. There is just some real unfortunate people ready to sell this thing anytime it gets to a new high. We got a lot of supply to work through there. I don't know when it's going to end. So
funny, I was on the Habibis Discord, and there might be an announcement from
They're doing well.
Yeah, they're doing okay, man. They're actually doing okay. They just had a pump up to 0.85, and then now it's come back down to about 0.69. But there's going to be, Ramo's saying there's going to be an announcement of someone coming in to the Habibis ecosystem, and he put 3 names, either Alex, someone, Franksy, or Gary V. And everyone's just fucking going Habibi mode in the Discord at the moment, just taking the piss out of all 3 of them. But one of them 3...
One besides Gary and Pranksy?
It was
maybe Alex Becker. Is that who
Alex Pisa, I think it was. I can't put my Discord on because you guys are going to get annoyed. But
I think it's the one that isn't Gary V or Pranksy.
Oh, Pranksy. Yeah, this is what I thought. Becker, that's it. It was Alex Becker.
Yeah, Alex Becker.
Yes, Ella, you are correct. But Cool Pets has not been around long enough for me to be like, it's not that type of bored. I'm not bored. I am angry that I can't use the product I bought for $1,500. So maybe you are correct. Is this max FUD for cats? If that game comes out and it's fun to play and we're all just having a grand old time collecting milk and evolving these pets, yep, you're exactly right. This is the exact time to buy. I'm not sure anymore, to be honest. I don't have that type of conviction like I do with Ether Orcs. But I hope I'm wrong.
Ether what now?
Oh, just a conviction with Cool Pets.
Yeah.
It's just because of the time they've taken, to be fair.
I know, because the whole time you start to go, well, if somebody, they've given all these front end excuses, back end, blah, blah, blah. I'm starting to wonder if the game is ready, right? We said this about a week and a half ago, that after you make enough, and it was all the standard shit, DDoS attack, there was this hole in the conduit, maybe it was all true, or maybe in their testing of the game just wasn't ready for prime time. That's the thing. That's the vibe I was starting to get. Hope I'm wrong. Still holding my Cool Pet. Gonna try and play if it opens.
Yeah, literally. I'm in the same boat. I'd agree. Gotta love Gary V. Look at his face. He's a slut.
JCB, we already raffled all of our Losers Club spots. There may be some overage, but if there is, it would be a very small change. If there's 5 to 10 left over that either people didn't claim or something, we will raffle them. But, there's 444 people in the Moon Lounge. So if there's some overage we're going to raffle, it's not like when we do our normal big, because like I said, we've raffled so far 60 to the Moon Lounge. We've given 20 to Prio Pass, and we do have some that we're going to be using for Spaces, the show, and Twitter giveaways as well.
I will say this, though. If you're thinking about pulling the trigger on an AlphaMint Pass, I'm sure you will find much more value than just the Loser Club, although I do understand that people want to get in on that.
because it's not just the white passes, the white lists that we provide, because we provide a lot of them, but also the alpha that is dropped in that dojo. In fact, Flo was able to buy 2 Emerald Lemons with a whitelist that was dropped in the AlphaMint Gen dojo. I mean, this was one of our specialties. Knowing, like, Whiskers is a great example.
They were all over that
Yeah.
sheet fighter last night.
Yeah, a sheet fighter, great example.
Pops up, boom. Tons of people minted that.
You know, most people get more than the paid for the AlphaMint pass within the first week. So it's while the whitelist raffles are a huge value add that I know a lot of people sign up for, believe me, there's a lot more than that.
Either way, I wanted to say, on a complete random note, I think I've actually found my first ever fully 100% conviction play that I'm going to ape in it.
What's that?
Star Wolves. Seriously, like, I'm honestly, because, you know, normally when you look at a project, you think, should I ape in? Should I not? The team, this, that, are they going to action what they're going to do? Is it blah, 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 blah. And I was doing this like checklist yesterday of you know, full conviction plays that I could really go into. And I kid you not, Star Wolves is at the top with not a shadow of a doubt. And the funniest thing is, after speaking to 1 or 2 of the guys, either from AlphaMint or in Star Wolves, everyone has a very similar opinion. Like, they don't give a fuck how many they're going to buy of Star Wolves. They just want it because they believe in it more than anything else. So, yeah, that's my conviction play of 2022.
I am excited for you guys to see some of the stuff that is coming.
If you only knew.
I'm dreaming, dude. Like every other night, dude. That's all I can do is dream.
Star Wolves, Benito. How dare you? Star Wolves. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do to us? Lucas doesn't need to hear about any of this. Star Wolves. Star
Wolves.
Yeah.
Any kind of sneak peeks, Artie?
No, we have to get permission from the mother wolf, but we will do that. In fact, we will try. Let's lock down an interview and a sneak peek. We'll see. We know the mother wolf, but she.
I was gonna say, why don't you guys do an interview with like those guys?
Because I don't think, as you have seen, I don't think we want any publicity, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't think we want any publicity right now. I think we want. The reason you enjoy it right now is because of the community we're building, and we're going to lean into that as hard as possible. I don't want to say we don't care about selling out, but we care a lot more about fostering a real community. And I think what Charlie has built over there is nothing short of incredible. So,
yeah, of course it is, 100%. He's got it on smash, like literally on smash.
Yep.
No other NFT project has smacked it like he has.
No.
He is done. And I don't care. Anyone can tell me that. Any Bored Ape. And remember when you guys were talking about Bored Ape and thing, and I was saying Star Wolves, dude. Like, you were talking about Star Wars. Yeah, I think it was Bored Ape flipping crypto. Which one would I go for? And I said, fuck them two, fam. I'll go for Star Wars. And it's simply because of what Charlie's done. He's fucking God, fam. Like, literally, like, hat off to it. He's done. But anyway, beside the point, like that was me going in like full Star Wars mode.
It's been an absolute pleasure to watch Charlie work and just try to keep up with him. Honestly, he's a different animal for sure. It's crazy.
Best way.
It's also been a pleasure watching all of you guys pull this shit off. Real talks here, yeah. Like,
appreciate that.
No, seriously, man. Like, you got to remember, like, when you guys were first doing these shows, for example, there was only 13, 14 people in a Discord. Yeah.
Yep.
And yes.
You know, in terms of connects and the rest of it, you compare where you started off to where you are now. Boy, like, all of you have done amazing. And for me to have watched it from an outside looking in, you guys should be very, very, very proud of yourself, each and every one of you. So, yeah.
Oh, JCV. Sorry to cut you off, Cass. I really appreciate those kind words.
I know, man.
It does. It really does mean a lot to everyone, and like, you know,
It's okay, man.
It's been a lot of fun. No, I just want to say JCV bought his Moon Lounge pass, so welcome to the Moon Lounge.
Beat him up, Scotty.
Samuel is asking, somewhat interested as well. I don't have much liquid. How much minimum liquid would you recommend to get the best value out of an alpha pass? Well, I wouldn't suggest spending a large amount of your liquidity on the pass, if I'm going to be honest with you. And, you know, one of the things that we take a lot of pride in AlphaMint is just being realistic with the expectations.
5% or less.
To buy the alpha pass?
It should be 5% of your liquidity or less. Maybe 10%, but try to think within those.
For sure. Yeah, and I mean, even if the one thing that's great about AlphaMint is that like there's lots of alpha, there's lots of actionable things to go on and whatnot. But you know, this space is wild, right? So you want to coming like with some money to play with. You don't have to be a whale and stuff like that. And there's a lot of great opportunities to get on these allow lists. There's a lot of opportunities to win those raffles or find a Discord that's just opening up, and it's one of our core competencies. But like if somebody was like, yeah, if I buy the pass and I'm going to have 0.25 ETH left, I would say like that's not worth like taking that risk, right? Because there's still high risk. Having a community, have people to bounce off ideas off of, and you know, just learning within a group is very, very powerful. But it doesn't mitigate, or it mitigates risk, but it doesn't like preclude you from risk, I should say.
Can I mention from a consumer's perspective, if that's okay?
Sure.
I think the AlphaMint pass for me personally was a great purchase to kind of meet really like-minded people within the space and people that you can trust. Okay. That might not work for everyone because different people have different personalities which deal with different people. Okay. But in terms of alpha, in terms of knowledge, in terms of if you're willing to take a hit just to learn the space, an AlphaMint pass is great. How much would I pay for one? Depends on how much you want to learn. Because you get the likes of both of you, for example, you get Drip, you get Illidan, you get In Business, you get Merlot, a ton of guys. There's Animal, there's so many that just give so much amazing alpha on so many different aspects, either be it someone from who hasn't got much liquid to someone who's a whale, and you get to kind of, you know, understand the perspectives on 2-3 different types of people just being in the Moon Lounge, and it's a safe place. So I would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
But again, if I would also say with caution, like, buy this pass because you're learning. Don't buy it because you expect it to moon, you know, more than anything else, because it's an amazing learning pass, and it has changed my life personally and my outlook on a lot of things within the NFT space from having friends like you guys. And I would have only, true story here, I actually sold my Bitcoin, or the remaining of my Bitcoin, to buy my pass when I first bought it.
You just made old Uncle Free very, very proud.
Get rid of that meme coin.
If you could see the smile on his face
Useless.
behind his Jumanji-esque beard.
No, real talks, because I remember what he said, and it was what FMC said to me when I asked him about the pass, because I said, what's this pass do? This was like the first time I got into the Discord, and he said more or less the same things, like, listen, this ain't going to moon, this ain't going to do X, Y, and Z, it's not a normal NFT, but if you want to see a little bit more behind the scenes of what we're doing here, you know, maybe look into it. But yeah, and I remember walking away and looking at my my hardware wallet for the whole 24 hours when he said that, and it was the fact that it didn't pressure me to buy it, which made me want to buy it even more, which was an amazing sales tactic, by the way. But I haven't looked back ever since. So
Yeah, you got
and I
it.
get to speak to you guys every day, so it can't be that bad, man.
Yazowlin is saying, I do not know what you guys are talking about. I mean, we were talking about Star Wolves, and now we're talking about AlphaMint. AlphaMint is our Discord community.
I felt that was even more general. I thought he wanted to know what NFTs were because he came from Twitch, and I think Twitch has different types of discovery than YouTube.
It does a little bit.
We get more random people who aren't necessarily NFT people through Twitch. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing here.
Yeah, it could be.
You tell it, Giza. What's the deal?
Crypto and NFTs are
cryptographic blockchain.
What?
Cryptographic blockchain technology was what I tried to say.
Mobile cellular communication device.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Right, gents. I've got a feeling it's coming to the end of the show. So before you can
Critters 155. Hold on to your tits.
Breaking news. Critters. Love it. Love to see it. Great
project.
Everyone
else gets to talk about with the moon. Look at my critters. Look at them. They're beautiful.
If I could say one thing, that is a project that I have just stopped checking in on. And not for any other reason, is just that I believe that it's actually just going to do well over the long term, and I'm not worried about it.
I believe NFT Worlds is stealing our money. What is this?
12 ETH now or something. It's crazy.
Oh, that was it. Because you guys weren't 100% sure about NFT Worlds yesterday.
No.
I think it was you that was saying that. Imagine Sandbox, but multiply the land space by, I think it's about 50%. Or multiply by 50. Mm-hmm. So you get a fuckload more land to play with. Plus, also they've got a native token as well,
and it's in Minecraft.
Yeah. So
you said it hesitant about that. Okay,
yeah, kind of. I think it's what other NFT projects are thinking about using it for. So, like for the Crypto Dads, for example, because the land is so big and they've got 2 plots of these NFT worlds, they're going to break sections of the land, so each and every Crypto Dad and Crypto Mum holder will have a section of land for them to build on. So I think it's good for projects. I'm not sure if it's any good for anyone that wants to hold a piece of land, but for projects I think it's a good idea just because of the amount of space that they've got.
It's pricey right now, yeah. That thing has just been up and to the right over the last month.
Yeah, it has.
Pretty wild. That's
my lapdog, that's for sure.
He's a big suck. He's been bugging me all show. Normally, he just lays down. He's got a little bed right beside my desk. He just chills, hangs out. He's being very needy today.
Oh, bless him. He's gorgeous, man. Is there any news on X2Y2?
Other than the token is doing really well right now until the rest of the supply gets released.
I was going to say $3.60, so they obviously haven't released the rest of the token yet.
Yeah,
wait, what? The airdrop has arrived. Claim, go, Blu-ray, go. Oh wait, no, it said it's paused.
It's not.
I logged onto the site.
I was like, I already did it.
No, well, because I logged onto the site and there was a new message that hasn't been there before that said, your airdrop is live. Go claim your 1,000 tokens. And I clicked it and it says, pause, the airdrop will resume. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that shit.
Yeah.
Artie was quick off the mark on that one.
Yeah, I like to wait to see if everyone's wallet gets drained.
Should have held it.
Which is nice because they're setting up so that the next honeypot that comes along, everybody rushes in because they don't want their tokens to be locked midway. Fucking idiots.
Is there any other token airdrops? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say FMC, man. Your rants are so fucking cool. I love it. I love it when you rip into people. It just makes me fucking puts the biggest smile on my face. Probably because I would probably want to do the same, but yeah. Love it.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. You're going Denver, aren't you? ETH Denver.
Who?
Is
I don't think so. I don't think so. Are you?
I swear. He said he was going to dox himself at ETH Denver.
No, NFT NYC.
Oh, sorry, NFT NYC.
Yep.
Unless I'm crazy. I was like, are you flying to Denver right now?
Man, I want to. It looks popping. I want to see all my homies. The Ether Orcs are going to be there. I want to go to the Ether Orcs meetup. Jesus.
At ETH Denver?
FOMO. Yes, ETH Denver. FOMO.
Damn.
The only issue there is that they don't know how to keep their weed at the proper moisture. You know, there's something called the Colorado Crunch, right? The Colorado Crunch refers to that any flower that exists in that state for more than like 3 minutes becomes just crunchy, dry powder that is just unpleasant to smoke. The aridity in Colorado is aggressive. It is a dry place. Tip. Buy the hash there. You got to buy. They have some of the best hash in the world because they run everything right after harvesting. That's all you could do. Flour is pointless in that. They might as well just run hash.
Bro, do you know who's got some shit?
Who that?
Venom. Oh my days.
I know.
Hey.
I know. I'm actually going to visit Venom. How about that?
Listen, I need to catch a flight.
Yeah, a road trip.
I need to catch a flight. I kid you not. I swear to God, 100. Venom's already said, like, when you're downcast, like, come in it.
We'll just rent one of those big buses and just pick up AlphaMint members all over and just drive.
I think that would be sick. We should do that, man.
Yeah.
You guys should do an AlphaMint roadshow.
Yeah.
AlphaMint road trip. The AM show United States tour.
Florida has the opposite problem, JRP. You can't keep anything at a proper moisture to smoke. It all becomes wet. I mean, you leave that shit open in Florida for like 2 minutes and your shit's unsmokable because it's too moist. Definitely the opposite problem. For me, I prefer oils. I use both. But I think given the amount of THC I ingest on a daily basis, without oils, it would be too hard on my lungs. Oils are vaporizing. It's much easier to do regularly. Too much flour is rough. So yeah, JRP. Both is the real answer.
Let me ask one question then. Like, obviously from the UK, I wouldn't really know. But what, because we would say like, Cali, whenever Cali comes over, we got Cali strain, okay? But
did you guys get yours from Worcestershire?
Worcestershire? No. No, we get it from Brighton.
Brighton dank.
Brighton dank. Imagine, or London dank. But yeah, what state produces the best shit?
It goes in this order: California, Michigan, New York, Colorado.
Cool. So yeah, so the Cali thing is actually thing.
Yeah, I believe it or not, I'd probably put Alaska up there. Alaska has some of the best stuff in the world. They're very crafty over there. Like, guys who go to Alaska move to the woods and just focus on the thing they love, right? They'll just live with the weed plant 1,000 miles from civilization, understand what makes it tick, and pump out some of the best stuff you ever smoked. The two cheater states, the ones that fool people, Oregon and Washington State, some of the worst weed, and we're talking about dispensaries. I know everywhere in the world and in every state and country, there's someone out there growing the fire. It's always true, but I'm just talking your general, average stuff you can get in the store. Oregon and Washington State are fugazi. Woo! California's king, still king. But Michigan, people sleep on Michigan, man. Woo! Good shit.
In Europe, it's for me personally, Spain.
Yes, 100%. Spain took the crown from the Netherlands. As we know, the Netherlands were it for a while. Then Switzerland accidentally legalized cannabis for a couple of years. All the production there. But then Spain you know what it was? There was a loophole in Swiss law that didn't distinguish between hemp and cannabis, or hemp and sensimilla or marijuana, whatever you want to call it. So that loophole allowed stores to basically grow and sell cannabis openly. Yeah.
Ella's asking when ETH Denver is happening.
Right now.
Yeah,
right now. It's been going on for the last week. I actually think this is the last weekend. It ends on Sunday, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had something to say. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
All right, my friends. This has been a slice. It's been a good day.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Cass, you got anything going on today? Good? Any good stuff?
Just Ali and friends. Just gonna wonder if I'm gonna do that or not, and just
How much does that mint? 0.1?
0.1, yeah. So yeah, it's worth jumping.
I bought 2, unfortunately, at 0.3. So
I heard. I felt for you.
oh, that's all right. That's fine.
Yeah, I felt for you on that one, but
Yeah, you can't. You can't win them all. I mean, it was at 0.4, went to 0.5, dropped down to 0.3, and I just thought maybe that would be a good spot for it to bottom out. Just as some of the further mint proceedings start to go on, and it didn't work out that way. Been a little bit of FUD in the Discord about how active the team has been, but they put out a couple announcements today. I'm not really sure what to make of it, so I don't know.
Yeah, so same. I mean, another thing as well is it is a Chinese project.
Yeah.
So their ethics, the way they do things, are completely different to the Western world. They
expectations are totally different, right?
Yeah, exactly. So to them, it could be a case of they don't really might not care about the FUD.
Yeah.
And I remember like just being like the what was it, Joseline, that the South Korean.
Yeah.
The South Korean pump, and even there, like even if the floor was 0, there was no FUD because they weren't accustomed to it. So I don't know. We'll just see how that one goes. Bar that, I'm just eyeing a kaiju, man.
Jolene.
I can't remember the rest of it, but yeah, that was my mum's tune, man. Wow,
He's gone.
He's gone. Right,
Just kidding.
I might as well go. Oh no, he's in. Whoop. Right, yeah, I'm gone. Guys, have a wonderful day, man. And
always a pleasure. We will catch you in the dojo, I'm sure.
Yeah, defo. If not, I'll catch you tomorrow, man.
For sure. Thanks, Cass. Appreciate it.
Love, guys. Bye.
Free market?
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
We did it?
We did.
We made it?
Made it.
Episode 74.
I just looked outside. It's cloudy with a chance of lame. That's the weather report.
That's the weather report?
Cloudy.
Should we do a weather report on every
Rain.
show now? The real weather report? No, let's not do that. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today. Obviously, a big topic of discussion, if you missed it, was weather report. So if you are joining us late, make sure to go check out the recording and listen to us talk about that. Trying to keep a level head and an open mind in regards to it. But regardless of all of that, I think Dentin is an incredible personality, and I think he's got a long career in NFTs ahead of him. We talked about Charlie Munger a little bit, El Salvador a little bit. We talked about looks versus X2Y2, not a super in-depth discussion, but the X2 has flipped looks for the time being. Hopefully they'll release their tokens pretty soon. Three-landers was in there. We talked about MFers going on another crazy run. Raid parties looking to launch this weekend. Lots of good stuff. But like I said, weather report has been the talk of the town. So I appreciate everyone showing up here. Great show. A lot of listeners, hopefully a lot of new listeners. And if you're still here and you haven't been with us before, we do this every Monday to Friday, starting at 9:30. Typically go till about 11:30, but we kind of just do whatever we want in regards to that. So thank you for being here. Free Market, get us out of here.
Good luck at the tables, D-Gen.